So we find ourselves in the fourth match of the KCM Race Wars from August 22nd. Hero just played excellent back-to-back games, and now we'll be going to the fourth game, see if Protoss can send out a better player to be able to stop this. And it is going to be Shuttle, so it's going to be Shuttle versus Hero on Crossing Field. A bit more of a passive map for us to watch. Alright, in the left-hand, top left-hand corner-ish side, in the teal, it's going to be Hero, playing absolutely excellently so far. Played a fantastic ZVP earlier, so we'll have to see if he can do that same sort of Hydra-heavy style on this map as well. And on the right side, in the purple, Shuttle, who has been absolutely tearing up these race wars so far for the Protoss race. Can he actually come back and completely annihilate everyone? We'll have to see. So, this map in some ways is very similar to Heartbreak Ridge in the sense that these middle map ridges are very important to control. You really want to control that vertical area outside the natural expansion for both players, because that allows you to just kind of take control of the fourth base expansions and also just the center map control that allow you to just have that ability to move around the map. It also has that rotational symmetry, which allows you to move out and around. However, the biggest difference between this map and Heartbreak Ridge is you get a free backdoor expansion. So 3 base is almost a given for both players. The rush distances are very long, so it's hard to cheese your opponent out. So we'll almost certainly be seeing a 3rd base for Protoss in this game, going up to 4, maybe 5 bases for Zerg as well. So there's definitely going to be a lot of action in this game. Lots of stuff that we'll be able to see. So we're going to start out with the hatch first for Hero. I really like this play. Knowing his opponent is all the way across the map, it's not really all that easy to cannon rush on this map as far as I know. So going to get away with that, and his opponent going to be going for the Nexus first in response, knowing that his opponent's probably going to be playing a little bit greedier because of the rush distance. This is very nicely done so far by both players. Going to be following up with the gateway and just making sure that he has the defenses at the front. Here playing a little bit safer, not going to be going for the full triple hatch before pool greed, which is a smart idea. You definitely don't want to be going too crazy, but at the same time, I don't know, it might be worth a payoff. I think if we were in a pro league scenario, you might see that more possibly, but because these are just generally fun stuff, this may be a little bit different, but this is a little bit of an interesting 3rd base location. Very normally we see the 3rd base, go down at the back door because that's what makes sense. That's the most obvious thing. But in this case, Hero actually going to be going for that base down on the lower left-hand corner, and that's going to allow him to go ahead and mine up some of the resources there. If he's able to get away with this for a very long time, it allows him to take that backdoor expansion and have basically free income without ever having any problems. And also, I mean, even if that 3rd base does become a target, even if he loses the 3rd base, he still has the free backdoor expansion to take as well. So it's not like he'll be running out of money. He won't be dead in the water if he loses that 3rd base, like you normally would in this matchup. So really cool stuff to see out from him. I'm not sure if it was actually scouted out by Shuttle, but Shuttle's going to be sending out a first Zealot across the map just to do a little bit of poke damage, try to harass, and you really need at least 6 lings to deal with this. Otherwise, it can be a little bit painful to deal with, but luckily Hero's been able to get away so far with just being very greedy, just continually trying to ward away this probe, keep it from scouting into the main. So, very nicely done by both players so far. We're going to see the double Zealot out in the front to defend, and going straight up to that lair. So, very standard tech coming out from Hero. We're probably going to be seeing the Spire come out as well. And this is one of those maps where I actually think that going for 5 hatch Hydra, not as good. Definitely this is the sort of map that you want to go for the Mutalist play. There's tons of open space in that backdoor natural in the main, and then also you can swing around and get a good angle on the front door natural as well. There's lots of really good stuff that you can do with Mulus, and it's very difficult to defend unless you have the Corsair count. Unfortunately, it looks like Hero is going to be going into that Hydralisk play yet again. But, I mean, if we really think about it, it's not really all that bad of a play. Even though the Mutalisks are very, very good, we can also think about the way that Hero played that earlier game versus Snow. I honestly forget these games almost as soon as I cast them sometimes. Anyhow, so that early game against Snow, we saw his particular style was he just got a lot of Hydros, pressure the front, and then set up a drop in the back. So we could definitely see that here, especially since you have that backdoor natural as a Protoss player. You don't expect it to be attacked. You play a little bit greedier, think, oh, well, nothing bad can happen over there. But it most certainly can. There's a definite possibility of that getting dropped and killed off if you're not careful. So, luckily, Shuttle's going to be able to scout out this third base early on. He's going to know that that's there, but with a strong ground army, I don't think it's going to matter. Even with this +1 speed lot attack that's going to be coming in to follow up for Shuttle, it's not really going to be that effective versus 5-hatch Hydra. It is going to hit right about the time that 5-hatch Hydra is starting to gear up, but before Heroes actually met that full amount of Hydras that he needs, that critical mass. So it's going to be a little bit nice for Shuttle early on, but it does sort of start to falter once the Hydros number gets high enough. In any case, it looks like it looks like Hero may be finally done droning up. He's just going to be mass producing all of these Hydras, and this is going to be really nice for him. So far, keeping a good eye out on his opponent's natural and seeing what's going on. I'm a little surprised we don't see more Zealots out at this point, especially since he cut Corsairs so early. It really should be seeing more gateways out at this point in time, but a lot of money being saved up by Shuttle. Looks like he might actually just be going for a faster third base, potentially. Maybe his macro was just down. I love this, going very quickly for the Overlord speed. It's going to allow him to actually get a very nice scout on his opponent at a time when you normally wouldn't actually be able to get that scout, and that's pretty fantastic for him. So, full information for Hero right now, and actually making a couple lurkers. So I really like this, going to allow him to pressure the front very heavily. Looks like you probably skip that range upgrade. You don't really need the range upgrade early on if your opponent doesn't have a wall off, because you're not trying to snipe off cannons or snipe off buildings in the front that are protected by cannons. You're mostly just going to be focused on getting up there and dealing with Zealots. So this is all very, very nicely done so far. There is a GT over here, but it's going to get revealed very quickly. Wow! These just get straight behind the mineral lines, and that is a dead mineral. Like, there's nothing that you can do with that mineral line. That mineral line is being held completely hostage until observers come out, and that's going to be a while, honestly. And with pressure coming out at the front as well, this is really fantastic position for Hero right now. He's going to have to be dealing with these speed zealots as they're starting to push out across the map. So this is one point of pressure that is going to be a little bit difficult to deal with, but basically at this point in time, Hero has all of the cards in his favor. He's just going to be able to spread out these lurkers, make sure they can't actually die to one storm, and right now this is just a fantastic position for Hero. He's got this third base, or he's got this natural completely under control, and actually if those lurkers sit there for too long, they'll actually just be able to snipe that down for free. So we'll have to see how this comes out. Is that cannon actually in range? I think it might be. No, it's not quite. Wow, is this going to be a dead Nexus from these two lurkers? Wow, I cannot believe it. That's actually insane. That is the most MVP lurker play I've ever seen in my entire life. Holy crap. Meanwhile, big drop going to be coming in. This might be a bit of an overcommitment. Does he actually have those loaded up, or is he just pressuring around with them? Looks like they are loaded up. A couple of units already ready in the main for Shuttle, so Shuttle knows what's going on. He knows there's a potential for a mass drop coming in. And Overlord's just going to be moving back for night now. Fourth base down for Hero, so he's going to be able to ramp up very quickly in economy if he wants to. But right now, I think he's just focused on making a gigantic line of Hydralis right here just to protect the middle of the map, just to prevent his opponent from ever moving out. And these two lurkers really just playing the absolute MVP. This is going to allow Hero to just tech straight up to Hive, go very heavily into that Ling favorite style. I wouldn't be surprised to see triple upgrades coming down right now, plus Hive. He's that far ahead that he can honestly afford to do that. He's going to go ahead and also make the Spire to make sure that he has Scourge for potential drops later on. Drops are a very realistic possibility right now. And finally these lurkers being cleaned up. This is just so brutal for Shuttle in this game. He's trying desperately to claw his way back into this, but he's got a decent army. His macro has been staying very, very strong, and been keeping mostly even in supply despite this disparity in economy. I'm a little bit surprised that we don't see... Wow, okay, so very surprising. Hero just really wants to win right now, so he's actually going to be going into the Mutalisk and just going for that same play that he did on Heartbreak Ridge. He's going to be trying to snipe all of the Templar and go straight into just a huge Hydra attack, but this is a little bit questionable because there are a few more Corsairs out on the map this time. This one has had a lot more time to build up. There wasn't a lot of damage done in the early game. So this may not be as strong as he thinks it is, but in any case, we'll have to see if he can actually break the front. There are a lot of High Templar there, and they're surrounded by cannons. With good storms, there's a very good possible chance that Shuttle could hold this off really nicely. He's now rebuilding lots of Corsairs, so he's going to be pretty prepared for this. A small bit of lag, but we're in good shape. And still going to be sticking to the layer tech, going up to 6 bases now for Hero. Very aggressive play, very aggressive expansions. I really wish he would just go straight up to Hive, but he really thinks that this particular play is the play for him. He's going to be going very heavily into this pressure. So far, we haven't actually seen it come to fruition. I think he just wants to add on a couple more units, make sure that he can properly attack his opponent. And so far, we're doing a really nice job forcing Shuttle to pull a couple of units. And now that the Corsair count is getting a little bit higher, these Beetles have to be a little bit more careful because every single Corsair shot means a big chunk of damage on all of the Mutalisks. So you just have to be very, very careful about the way you handle this. And I'm really surprised he still hasn't pulled the trigger. This is, the longer this goes on, the longer he's going to be in a pretty rough position. I think he's going for maxed out, but if you're going to go for maxed out, you might as well go for Hive anyway. It's very strange to see him try to just go for this big, massive army and then not use it. Huh. Now he's going for the Hive and the triple upgrades, but why wasn't he doing this earlier? This is so weird. I think this might come back to bite Hero. He had an extreme advantage going into this late game and kind of blundered it by just overmaking units. I mean, it's, to some degree, it allowed him to go ahead and take all the bases that he wanted, but you don't really need to do that if you have the superior ground army going into the late game. You don't have to worry about potentially getting up that 6th or the 7th base because you already have a superior army to your opponent. But at this point, Shuttle has decided it is go time. He's finally going to be moving out right now. And looks like Hero really, really, really wants to go ahead and get that gas. He is going to be able to snipe that gas, so that's going to be a significant chunk of gas missing from the economy of Shuttle for a very short while. Wow, we see double Defiler Mound. Wow. This may be just a little bit of hubris from Hero, thinking he's so far ahead he can actually just go for double Defiler Mound, get double upgrades, triple Evo upgrades as well, but his army isn't that strong. He doesn't have that good of an army, and there's nothing here to really defend these lurkers right now. He's trying to wrap around and maybe go for a potential counterattack, but he needs to be really careful about how he does this, because there's a very real possibility he could just open himself up to a counterattack. However, this is what I was talking about to some degree. It's all about controlling these ridges. If you can control these ridges on either side, it allows you to just control the flow of movement between your opponent and prevent them from ever actually getting up to your base. So overall, this is really nice. Very good transition by Hero into the late game, but he's trying to find the Templar with his mules and snipe them off before they get to his base. If he can manage to kill off quite a few before they get there, It basically allows him to have very strong armor. Oh wow, these lurkers really in a horrible position. Okay, thank God he spreads them out. You really 2 storms would have killed all of those lurkers, and I would have cried. I would have literally cried right here. 4th base going down for Shuttle. Shuttle doing a fantastic job of catching up, even though he was held back quite a bit in the early game. He's been able to catch up very nicely, and big attack coming in here right now. Where are the units to protect these lurkers? The lurkers just going down for free, taking free damage. Counterattack is pretty good for the Mutalisk, but he really needs a couple of lings with those mutas. The mutas alone don't really do a lot of damage to buildings. So here come the lings. Lings are going to try to wrap around a couple of these dragoons and force them back, but no go, it's not going to happen. And I think this may have been a little bit of a mistake from Hero. He's not controlling all that well. His lurker spread is not very good on this ramp. He runs a whole bunch of his lurkers through storms. Not ideal, not what you want to do. And this is becoming problematic for him. I think he's trying to be a little bit too cute. He's got his first Defiler out. It's going to be a pretty good plague on top of those Zealots. But where are the rest of the lurkers? All of his lurkers just went down for free, and there's only 1 more lurker up on this ramp. He's got a couple of units that are going to be able to help him defend, but just absolute complete botch control. He managed to kill off the 4th, but what does it matter if you have nothing in your natural? So many more units coming across the map from Shuttle. Shuttle looks like he's actually going to break his opponent right here, right now. Tons of Archons. Still has a couple more Storms in his army. More Zealots being added to the mix. This Mutalisk counterplay is actually really, really nice, being able to cut off a couple of reinforcements. But honestly, with this number of Zealots, it doesn't even matter. No amount of lings is going to be able to actually kill this off. And no static defense here, no lurkers. There's absolutely no defense here. And Shuttle's gotten straight into the natural with his entire army. He's going to start working on these hatcheries and start killing off the production of Zerg. And this is going to be huge. This is so much damage going down. Even though there's all this economy, the production is going down, and there's just not a lot at these other bases. There's just not a lot that Hero can actually do. He's trying to build a gigantic sunken farm in his main, but how long is that going to keep him alive? How long? He's trying again to snipe as many Templar as possible, but this is absolutely devastating for Hero, who was in prime position to just straight up win this game. Just playing really strangely at times, and it's coming back to bite him. He's going to go ahead and try to turtle up in all of the remaining bases. He really needs to put down a Nidus Canal in at least one of those bases so he can get back into his main pretty quickly and reinforce, but instead it looks like he's just going to go ahead and lose the main as well. And that's where all of his tech is. That's a very important base. He's going to have to rebuild all of his tech. That's also where his hive is, so if he loses his hive, he's going to have to rebuild his hive. He's going to try to push up here with a couple of lings, and luckily he's done a pretty good job of putting his opponent in a really bad position in between these Sunkens and the rest of his army. So it looks like he is going to be able to hold for now, but considering the position that he was in, it was a pretty big blow to his economy, to his production. He's going to have to rebuild a lot of those hatcheries. He's going to have to make sure that he has the proper army to deal with this next attack that's coming down. Even a small counterattack of units is going to be able to take down this base. And with control over the small ramp with a couple of Zealots and an Archon, it's going to be pretty easy to take out this hatchery as well. So Shuttle just moving ahead in leaps and strides right now. He's going to be trying to retake that 4th base. But again, the Mutalisk paying attention, being on point, being able to defeat that, and only 1 more mining base from Shuttle. Unfortunately, as much as he's been able to put on a lot of pressure, he hasn't quite been able to seal the deal right now. And even though it is fairly low economy for the Zerg as well, I think as long as Hero continues to play very cost efficiently, as long as he does a good job of sniping his Templar and having good lurkers in good position without losing them for free like this, then he's going to be in good shape. But losing again more lurkers, you really can't afford to do this right now. Just turtle up, Hero. Just turtle up. Use a couple of lings and Mutalisks to counterattack whenever the push comes in. You don't need to be sending units out across the map. You don't need to be fighting this in the middle of the map. You don't have to be going for this. This is just too much, and he's gonna potentially lose a couple more units for free. He really wants to cut in behind this army, cut off any reinforcements, and smash it as it moves into this base. There is one more High Templar there, so a couple more storms going to be coming out, and hopefully the snipe will be good, but running these Mutas right over an Archon is not the way to do it. That is definitely not what you want to do. Again, coming into this natural base, Shuttle's positioning, honestly, so far has been absolutely fantastic. The Mutas are trying to snipe those observers, but honestly, at this point in the game, you really need to have proper units for sniping those observers. And why the Ultralists? Why? You're up at... It makes absolutely no sense. You're up against a Mass Zealot Archon. No. Ultralists are not the answer to Mass Zealot Archon. They're really, really bad versus Zealot Archon. Oh gosh. Just focus on making Lurker Ling. Lurker Ling is far more cost efficient, far stronger against this particular composition. The Ultras just get absolutely annihilated by Zealots and Archons. Not really a good play from Hero so far. He's trying to run around the map and buy as much time as possible, but at this point, this has given Shuttle a ton of time to build up his armies. He's in pretty good shape to go ahead and move forward, and kind of funny that all those Ultras are getting stuck in there. Looks like Hero's actually just going to try to get as close to max out on Ultras as possible. It's going to allow him to have a very strong ground army, but it's not very good against this army. You really need those lurkers in the mix. Having mass ultras is not the correct answer here. And it's just going to get completely annihilated by this tiny but strong army. Now retaking the fourth base is Hero. So far this game, I'm going to be honest, as much as I want to hype up this game and be like it's amazing, this has been kind of a clown fiesta by Hero. Hero could have easily won the game. Probably about 10 minutes ago, but because he made a lot of weird tech decisions, because he's continuing to make really weird tech decisions and making bad, overly aggressive plays, it's going to come back to haunt him, and now the Reaver's out as well. Reaver's also very good against Ultraling. It's pretty brutal. Looks like a couple drops are going to be coming out across the map. Hopefully it's mostly Lings in these drops, because Ultra drops are not good. So lots of pressure out on the map right now. Both players just kind of jockeying for position, trying to get a good idea of where their opponent is. And honestly, Hero is really in a weird position because he has tons of money, but he can't really spend it. He doesn't have the production that he had earlier. He doesn't have the ability to spend a lot of that gas that he might build up in the future, and he's just in a lot of trouble right now. He's going to try to go in for a pincer attack on top of this ramp, but the entire army of Protoss is already on top of this ramp, and these Ultras are completely useless. See, they just get absolutely annihilated. This is like the worst tech decision ever. There's an old saying in StarCraft 2 that if you want to lose, you make Ultralisks. And while that was very true before Heart of the Storm, when Ultras like really sucked, it's especially true here. They're absolutely going to get annihilated. But wow, this is a lot of pressure coming in. This is actually a very nice surface area for Hero so far, but they're actually just the Ultra's just not good enough. They're completely melting to the Zealots. Zealots are just way too strong versus Ultras. It's actually insane. I mean, it's not even in the sense that Zealots are very strong versus Ultras. It's just in the sense that Zealots are dirt cheap and deal very well with Ultras, especially when they have just a little bit of backline artillery to help augment it. And so many Archons up now. The Archons are going to not only be able to take a lot of damage, but they're also going to be able to dish out a lot in return. And even though it looks like Hero's way ahead, if you look at the armies, like, this is an insane army of Ultras, but like, look at Hero's bank. He's got nothing. They're even supplies. So Shuttle is winning the game right now. Shuttle's going to hit and get that 4th base up now, and another defiler play going to be coming out. And again, this is another position where this could end up horribly for Hero if he takes another bad fight in the middle of the map without that defiler. But with the double Reaver, with all of these Archons, this is a very strong Protoss army, even versus something as lean and powerful as this particular army. But the double Reaver is just so powerful. Double Reaver is actually insane. These Mutalisks, a couple more Mutalisks coming out to maybe snipe High Templar and stuff, but it's not going to happen. With this many Archons out on the map, he has to stop making Ultras. Stop making that. Just make Lurkers. Oh my god, this is like the most painful loss ever. Lurkers are like the counter to this composition, because there's like no Dragoons in there. Just make a couple of Lurkers. Why are you doing this? Good counterattack's going to be coming in here and being able to clean up these cannons. Maybe able to clean up this base as well, but not very well done overall. The units are kind of split. The Ultras was a little bit late, so it didn't tank, and there are no more links actually counter this. But luckily, the Defiler is here. That's going to make this cleanup very, very easy. That base is going to go down. Shuttle again in a difficult position where he doesn't have a base, but he has a very powerful army, and as long as he can continue to push in and deal massive damage to his opponent, he's going to be able to win this. And this is going to be the big fight coming up right now. Big fights coming down right now. Big storms. And the Reaver shots are amazing. And all of the Ultras, all of the Lings melt instantly. There's nothing left. A beautiful play coming down right there. But honestly, as long as the Shuttle micro is really good from Shuttle, he's going to be in fantastic position. He's going to be able to kill off this natural yet again, and I wonder if he's just going to go down to that 3rd, or if he's going to try to go into the main yet again. Last time he went into the main, it looked like it was a bit of a mistake. Is he going to try the same thing again, or is he going to try to just hang out over here? This game is coming down to the absolute wire, though. This is a very tiny army, but with 0 Lurkers out on the map, I still would favor Shuttle. Shuttle is in a fantastic spot. He needs to not drop his Reavers like that, though. Oh, the storms are good. He's going to be able to clean up, I think, all the rest of these Ultras, and that's all the Ultras down. Just pure Zealot Archon now. This is absolutely insane. So there are a couple more units in the natural that are going to be able to follow up, but Hero's economy has been pretty much shot. He's down to 50 supply to the 80 of his opponent, and a much higher quality army. He's only mining on 1 base down here in the bottom corner. If Shuttle decides to go for that base, he could definitely kill it off and just win the game, but right now he's doing a weird split right now, just trying to get his units to kind of pressure different places on the map, try to see what Hero's doing. I think he thinks that Hero has a little bit more economy than he actually has, but there's actually nothing left for Hero. Actually, Hero's not mining at all. Neither players are mining, and a much higher quality army for Shuttle right now. He's going to be able to long distance mine, and Hero continuing to make Ultras with his very last amount of money. He's saying, basically, you know what, I don't care. I think Ultras are the answer, but Ultras are not the answer. Please don't make Ultras. Oh, gosh. And a couple units just going to be able to walk up and kill the Defiler and an Ultra for free. Hero's control just slowly dwindling, just getting worse and worse. And this Ultra's been dancing down here for days, for absolute days. And with this long distance mining for Shuttle, he's slowly going to be able to come back in the game. Going to be able to kill off yet another Ultralist for free. And that's a huge, at this point in time, this is a huge chunk of the army. There's the GG. Hero just making a lot of really bad choices. And that Ultralist tech at the very end was awful.